my name is Alandu Media, so near the Mabana BPMO, Asante Mantem, your woman, Shefikisium, Otumfou said to 12 bill. Now he finished a day, one on would be a few ya, and now Prempeh if it's a shows about Asante Memueno, and I may have one BPMO Medino, every city BC, I will come home, not Yentisi.
Metaphorically saying that Jumadi no AC Elcro, no question ni menshada ni Santimada ni na higher for pa. Osha said in an unknown phone on my mamma, Omesia form one what's nana. I have for papa. Nanina, any bibia, esse and ne, ya now say to 12 bill. Tosumi no Santimera, Obuja, now dear Shana Prempeh when you were both face and shields about Santimeno, and who journey lay wooing. I was just at the Mamma Mania Panso, we see a year no I see a fanwa, F a pa a ye. Na we a ye, a fitted the tosso or ha, no, if you have so, and I Prempeh face and shields by you know, and don't open so in it, one in a matter when you're more sentimental, mooning Abuja data. Ya well done media di na what ya chere emfaso ene kodin ya na Prempeh sabre no okon adeji asantema nti sabre die empanifo twotwo na pepia nkoma no ato ansa e de afre wo momodo no nya beta media ya chi na media yi mu ade ba ko sombo kese pa eye se shows empanifo agudie ene empempla de omusie na Prempeh chi ebe fai wa asantema mu no Otumfou said to share boss okon bia so obefa so na yensaka sane ma no eno na nei wo mo babeda no yi ade a kire asanteman wo mo agye mu ade ma asanteman wura enema asabre no wo mo ebefa ye nti sebre die wo mu se shows man panyin e wa ha afei wo hu eswatini mpanimfo wo mu nyina efiri o maman so aba o mo de wani mo nyamba twa di echi wo ba Ghana ha so afo mpanimfo kanema panyin John Kunkufo o mashibe dwamufo won ye dede nnoko akase ne obi biara santeman obi agitwi agitrada ya wo mo aba nyina ye bai madwumedi aye krabehwe
for me na owusu a ampem ebe twetwe nkomo oyetano so my hima na odaroma my hen
ya ewuraba
na pacho what to say
ewuraba pacho de hen
na me ase na ene finshia wo haye die fa na Prempeh office shows by be na beka afa edwabo
plan ewura sha ase na me dia se da be my hen funi nyina obu be fie e ma anigye by pa ene yese na ye beto aso na asida enka Otumfou osetutu otosumienu fi se wa pagya ya nananum konwa no ama ayefe enti bibia ese fata no ode to de eda enti amame de manage se wonye ni ha satie bia obefre am ya betna se agi se enuru afanse ana universal no eduru ho nko ade a nia na hemfo bia wotonsa wa fe and then you kra wa wo ho de abetua ba de di na nyina tuatua enti no asedan de bebe wonyankopon ne bia ka ewura Otumfou se awurade ma ne nkwa ne ahode de bia na wa ye nanano eso ye nanano se de efata anya mu ho fa ho pa no
ebedase na ewe fi wo ha ojidi se eyese beto aso na brano nyina bia finshia du 200 years no ahanu no so yebedi sa ehihye na eye se de bia yemfre
yo bedase pa nya yesra ma yewura enkwane ahoden se bribi obegina ne na so na ya nananom enhyehyɛ yɛ wɔ hɔ baabi a ɛsɛ pagya nananom ani munya na enkyire ba na ɛba no kora hu sɛ nana kora sɛsɛ ne siiɛ mfie dodoɔ sɛ ne nyina bɛtun kora ba nsɔre nti yɛbɛsra sɛ ɔmmɔ nana kyido mu na dɔnten mu ne benku ne nifa adoma efiri yankopɔn hɔ ɔmfa ma no no skadwa kofi so da bia ɔnhyerɛhyerɛ do sunsun no ɔhonam fam ne ani soɔ sɛ de bɛyɛ a biribiara sɛ de mfie ahɛ no kora wo wedu hɔ no wɔtɔ na ne ho ɔden wasa to aso
Ana ma me insha Allah da su fa
yɛwura
Allah ma bɛda ho di kakra kyerɛ
Acha femi na nata George wako die. Afufidie mman hima.
Nana ene mfihye wo ha yedi de na woka.
De me woka ye aseda ye de ma wotwedi ampon nyankopon. Isansa ye na domara kwa na mfie wo ha yi abeto ye nsusu ye bie. Enti me masantime nyina so afrimu ne tirenkwa. Isanse emre bi a etwemu abrofo no betete asante e de yakọ ahohiahiem efa ye nananom bi de mu ko hyehyehye Alandu anti se mfie wo ha ne dia na se ye hye nyankopon ani monyama asante man so ekeka ye homa ye hunu se ye nananom koe na so asante man de wukuma apembe ba asante man da so wo ho anti e Otumfou adawroma ene wa me keka ye ho se yenka ye nananom asatem abrofo betete yen enti na wie ye wa hanti ye masante me nyina etirenkwa ene efremu
Nana hima ye bɛda se pa
Obia empe baby entina enche kotokohene opemso Otumfou Osei the second eba ene ajaboye stronko we are beginning the royal procession of the colorful entry of His Majesty Otumfou Osei the second.
Yeah, T. One T. Yeah, T.
You ready to hire someone? Obia jina ye koto ko hedu ha. Obia jina ye.
And you can see the flag of the Ashanti nation. The flag of the Ashanti kingdom, together with the flag of Seychelles. Nanadam ene enye akwasidai ene enye ukudai ene ajaboy ajaboy stronko yade share yanana ajaban Prempeh the first yade share the bunyam stronko na ohwe flag ya ene kasa no yede be frafra kakra nana no makato se afrafra edama enkwan eyede ene enkwada na se afrafra ema awade eso nana no manka ne sa enkwada no esesa no afrafra eye and the diversity eba eliti ene kasa no yede afrafra sanse ahoho awentem ewo ha jina hayi enya manshiankwa ni jina ene manshiankwa ana enyomo ekasa edi afan nemom ene mafon tinten so yesan ewo so we are live on Otumfou Radio and Otumfou TV. Sums up the authority of His Majesty Otumfou Osei the second. And as I indicated earlier on, as Santiment developed this flag long before the independence of Ghana.
Baby, out here in Kansas City, Benshia, Bujaye, and I also say, and now a dance from Kong. Now, Prempeh with the kind. Agents Bruni in the choir on Sambaye. I want you to bring your soul if I wish you. But then I should not say, wish you know. And into a hand. Super Island, our dear Apostle, also very few 100 shoes. Oh, my penny, our inflation.
His Excellency the former President, John Kufuor. Now we are waiting to send the river and the Queen Mother of Asante. Pay homage to the king upon their arrival at the Deba grounds. Our adorable Queen Mother, body of the kingdom, a special palanquin. I present to you the Prime Minister of Eswatini, His Excellency Russell Miso Dlamini.
One share so good in no so. I mean, at the opera walk. Lady, a wow, nana, or your son. Now, one more to buy, and we'll be so no, I'm not for no.
Your Majesty, Otumfou Osei Tutu II, the Asante Hene. Her Majesty Nana Konadu Yadom, the third Queen of the Asante Kingdom, Your Excellency Wavel Bamkalawan, President of the Republic of Seychelles, Honorable Shirley Boshayo, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Your Excellencies John Kofu, former President of the Republic of Ghana, Your Excellencies, Ambassadors, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I have the privilege and responsibility to deliver these remarks on behalf of His Majesty King Swati III, King of the Kingdom of Eswatini. Allow me to begin these remarks with a message of regret from His Majesty at being unable to be with us here due to long-standing annual commitments. His Majesty King Mswati III, the Queen Mother, the government and the people of Eswatini would like to convey their best wishes to the second, the Asante Hene and the people of Asante, as we celebrate 100 years of the return of Nana Akiama, Prempeh I. Today, we not just celebrate the return of a leader, but we celebrate the resilience and strength of the Asante people. Nana Prempeh I was not just a king, but a symbol of unity and perseverance. His journey has taught us that even in the face of adversity, we must hold on to our identity, our values, and our dreams. His return signified a new chapter of the Asante Kingdom. Your Majesty, it has been 9 years since His Majesty Otumfou II, the Asante Hene, visited the Kingdom of Eswatini. His Majesty King Mswati III has fond memories of the visit by the Asante Hene. During his visit, the two monarchs resolved to strengthen relationships between the two kingdoms and countries. They agreed to frequent reciprocal visits. However, Ghana has had, up to date, not received His Majesty King Mswati III. It is His Majesty's wish.
Na ene edei empemprandiye egudiye ni sika ekopie South Africa no enchebia na nanmo ede ba nomde abechire yura ebehye enmunyam se de ade ne hye no amfa hye frito ade nso ni mu wende ekwa no asanya aba.
So a big thank you to our delegation from Anglo Gold Ashanti, Mr. Stewart Baite, Ambassador Sango Basso, Mr. Henry Strong, Mr. Eric Esubonting, and Mr. Emmanuel Beidu.
We have the clergy also here, the Archbishop of the Roman Catholic Church, the Archbishop Emeritus of the Anglican Church,
abusua sade amamre ne amanie yesi ye no no saa pepepe na saa bredi ewu no asante amamre ne amanie kwan so wonya hoho na mudi amanie wi a woso ma no bresio na adema na kwaba eno no pem so enam ne pomponsuo ene chiame so ya saa bredi enyini si abrofo ya omofi se shields ebaye na omobo amanie nyina wi ye no na asoma ama yakomo mo bresio ni ama o makwaba so nkokwan so eno na celebrate etwegu ya nanom omu nyina to santen fefefe ya wo mo masa akwaba no.
Alandu na Eswatini so for penny oba onso achame edini brisu emano yede mana kwaba no.
Celebrating the 100th anniversary of the return of Prempeh I. We now invite representatives from Anglo Gold to do a presentation together with Dr. Ivo Ajimandia.
Rubian Asante Hima, Excellency Webel John Ramkalawan, President of the Republic of Seychelles, Mrs. Linda Ramkalawan, First Lady of the Republic of Seychelles, Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Eswatini, our very beloved very respected, and much cherished and adored, our own John Ajetikum Kufuor, second president of the Fourth Republic, eminent clergy, Your Excellency, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration and incoming Commonwealth Secretary General, Regional Minister, Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, Nananum, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor and immense joy that I stand before you on behalf of His Royal Majesty Otumfou II to welcome you to this historic occasion to commemorate 100 years since the return of our King, Prempeh I from exile. This Deba, a celebration of resilience, heritage, and unity, is graced by the presence of two heads of state, of Eswatini and the head of government of Eswatini and the head of government of the Republic of Seychelles. These go to reflect the bonds of solidarity that connect us as a people. We are deeply honored to have you with us today again, Excellency John Ramkalawan, President of Seychelles, and Mrs. Ramkalawan, the First Lady, whose presence serves as a symbol of the deep and lasting connections between our two nations, forged during a time of both hardship and hope. The Seychelles, though far from our own homeland, became a place of where our King found solace. And it is fitting that we welcome you here today as part of this historic occasion. Excellency, your dual role as both a president and an Anglican priest exemplifies the virtue of servant leadership, seeking justice, compassion, and unity. As we reflect on the past, we are inspired to work together for a future that builds on these shared values. To His Excellency, the Prime Minister of Eswatini, we say Siyamboga for joining us on this momentous day. Your attendance reinforces the spirit of African unity and highlights the collective strength we derive from our shared cultural heritage. Otumfou recalls with great pleasure and joy the red carpet reception he received at your country when he visited a few years ago. He hopes that in due time, your king will come down here and also be regaled with similar hospitality and eminent welcome. Today, as we look back on the struggles endured and the triumphs achieved, let us not only remember that King Prempeh also we celebrate the values of courage, unity, and hope that sustain our people during the darkest of times. King Prempeh's return 100 years ago was not just the return of a king. It was the restoration of our identity, our culture, and indeed, our pride as a people. Let us use this centenary as an opportunity to reflect on the lessons of our history and to recommit ourselves to building a future where peace, unity, and prosperity prevail. Let this occasion inspire us all to uphold the legacy of our ancestors and to continue striving for the progress and well-being of our great community. Once again, I extend a heartfelt welcome to all of you, especially to our distinguished guests. May this day be filled with reflection, celebration, and a renewed sense of hope for the future. I thank you very much for your attention.
We thank you, the chairman.
Due advantage and take up the next aspect of the program. That is the presentation by Anglo Gold of some regalia which have been in their custody for some time. Excellencies, you may recall that on his ascension to the golden stool 25 years ago, Otumfou made it his cardinal point to continue to look for the return of all the regalia that had been looted from the palace in the 19th century through the Serengeti War and others through other battles. This had been started by King Prempeh II, continued by Otumfou II, and he vowed that come the end of his reign, this one, some of the regalia, most of the regalia would have been achieved. So he set up to engage the museum that were holding them to get them to return them to Kumasi and for them to be returned to their native place of abode. To this end, he commissioned the veteran historian and anthropologist Malcolm MacLeod and the indefatigable Abo Adjumandua to work towards the redemption of this regalia. Fortunately, after long and hard negotiations, in February, the Fowler Museum in Los Angeles returned some 7 artifacts which had been in their custody in the United States. Fortunately, again, in March, after another bout of serious and heart-wrenching negotiations, the British Museum and the Victoria and Albert Museum returned 32 items that have been in their custody since the time of the Serengeti War, that is in about 1875 or thereabouts. Later on, intelligence reached Otumfou that Anglo Gold Ashanti had in their custody some of the regalia that had been bought by a Swiss art collector and which had found their way eventually to the vaults of Anglo Gold Ashanti. He therefore commissioned our own Abo Adjumandua to authenticate the items and indeed advise us to the propriety or otherwise of going to have them retrieved. Again, Abo did not sleep on his horse. He went on a hard and tough negotiation, and then after duly authenticating them, he found them to be worthy of Ashanti extraction and of Ashanti origin. And therefore, negotiations ensued. Fortunately, Anglo Gold Ashanti lent a very listening ear, and they agreed to unconditionally return the regalia to Otumfou for eventual safekeeping, so that it will come into his own abode. So it is indeed fitting that this being the third and last of the activities we planned at the beginning of this year should be crowned with the return of the regalia which have been in the custody of Anglo Gold Ashanti all these years. I would now invite Mr. Adjumandua, who was at the forefront of the negotiations, to say a few words before Anglo Gold comes over to do the presentation. Thank you very much.
About 6 months ago, you asked the Chief of Staff, Mr. Kofi Bedu, to prepare me to travel with a board member of the Anglo Gold Ashanti, Edward Eni, to South Africa. You had initiated discussions with the leadership of the multinational organization on some 19th century Ashanti objects that it had acquired through purchase. Other visits that followed indicated that some of the collection Anglo Gold had were Ashanti, and indeed of the era of the 1870s and 1900s. They had been taken or acquired from Kumasi, and by 1922, a Swiss art collector of West African art, Joseph Muller, had been part of this collection and had these in his possession. This collection of West African art numbered 350 and of the best goldsmithry in West Africa. The collection became part of the Moules Baba Museum in Geneva. This whole collection was inherited from the Geneva Museum by Anglo Gold Ashanti in 2000, including the objects from Ashanti. As it was, that is Anglo Gold, they were all put in Anglo Gold's Gold of African Museum in Cape Town, in South Africa, and later transferred to the Jalbert Arts Center in Pretoria. It was at the Jalbert Arts Center of the University of Pretoria that Edward Enin and I were, that we also, as your team, led the other stakeholders and held final negotiations to bring the 28 of these objects to Kumasi. The objects got in 3 days ago, and the Anglo Gold leadership got in this morning to present to you what you asked for. Some of these objects define the Ashanti Court tangible heritage. Language staff, swords, palace security locks, rings and necklaces, proverbial gold wigs of crocodiles, gold sandals, and others. In other ways, they define chiefship. I would like to express appreciation. We will like to express appreciation to all who helped in this. Star Assurance, which became our official insurance of the objects, and had to find counter reinsurers in the United Kingdom, and did so on gratis. The Reserve Bank of South Africa, which issued the export permit for these objects, and the great Anglo Gold team that is here, and those of West Wing Logistics and DHL that work behind the scenes and are not here. A big appreciation goes to the former president of Ghana, John Kufuor, as well as to DHL. I will now call on Mr. Honorable Edward Enim to introduce the delegation and also to say some few words.
Yes, on mobile presentation, and maybe your mom. The Otosono Bakune, Mr. Stewart Bailey, on the Chief Sustainability and Corporate Affairs Officer. The Otosono Ambassador Basu Sango, Senior Vice President, Group Sustainability. Enna, the Otosumi and Sir Eric Subontin, Senior Vice President, African Non-Operated JVs. Your Tosu 9, Terry Strong, Senior Vice President, Africa. Your Tosu Num, Samuel Boachi Kobi, Managing Director, Anglo Gold Ashanti or Boasi. Now MD or Takwa, Watakwa, no net, number of Boasi. Your Tosu Senior Emmanuel Bedu, Senior Manager, Sustainability, Africa. Any war Edmond. And also Ebwa, a friend say Emmanuel Bedu, a Juma Oyem. Any war a Rababia or Wally Nanuya, but me name the Crudin to Mr. Papa Dina Freno, if any case here in Yan. Also, and I'm also it would any Mesomeka one a buy to watch him by a Masamaka maker.
For say Tutu II, His Excellency the President of the Seychelles, Wavel Ramkalawan, His Excellency Prime Minister Dlamini of Eswatini, His Excellency the former President John Kufuor, Nana Num, assembled guests, dignitaries, Memawo Maha. Please accept the greetings today from me, from Anglo Gold Ashanti, from our Board of Directors, from the Board of Directors of Anglo Gold Ashanti Ghana, including the Honourable Enin, who has just spoken so eloquently, and before him, Nana Otumfou II. Thank you. There is South African saying, or at least a saying that we claim in South Africa that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. This undertaking that has brought us here today has been an exercise in togetherness, in cooperation, in collaboration. And it's been a collaboration with the Manchia Palace under the direction of His Majesty. It's been an undertaking with the expert guidance of Mr. Ajim Dua, who has shown us a deeper way to appreciate items that are not hard to appreciate very deeply. These are amazing, priceless regalia and artifacts that are beautiful to behold, but are also a tremendous testimony to the expert craftsmanship of the Asanteman and of the people that forged these artifacts hundreds of years ago right here, likely in Kumasi. It was in 2000, as Mr. Ajim Dua said, that the former management of Anglo Gold, and this is before the company merged with Ashanti in 2004, decided that Europe was no place for these artifacts and they would like to bring them back to Africa. And so they purchased these and brought them and created a museum in Cape Town, which allowed many, many people to view these artifacts on the African continent, many of them for the first time in modern history. It is a deep honor for me today, a personal honor, to be involved in the project that brings these treasures here to Kumasi, where they were forged all those years ago. These pieces are an enduring reminder of the traditional links to gold mining here in this area of Ghana. And again, that testimony to craftsmanship and artisanship that dates back centuries. We are deeply honored and humbled to be part of this important moment in history, to ensure that these cultural treasures are accessible not only to the Ashanti people, but to Ghanaians in general. Today also marks an important step in an ongoing cultural initiative that will continue to reinforce Anglo Gold Ashanti's long-term commitment to the Asantehene, to the Ashanti Kingdom, and to its people, and for our support of the preservation and celebration of such a rich and storied culture. Medasim.
Nana Otu Strabo II, Mahine of Jobin traditional area, leading the delegation from Anglo Gold to present these regalias to His Majesty Otumfou Osei Tutu II.
See the Queen Mother, Your Royal Highness Lady Julia Osei Tutu, Your Excellency Mr. Russell Dlamini, Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Mrs. Shirley Botchway, incoming Secretary General of the Commonwealth, former President, Your Excellency Mr. John Kufuor, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed an honor and a pleasure for me to be here today. I bring greetings with me from the people of the Republic of Seychelles to the people of the Kingdom of Ashanti. Let me express my sincere appreciation to Your Majesty and to the people of the Asante for the warm welcome and gracious hospitality that the First Lady and I, as well as my whole delegation, have received since our arrival in Kumasi. I take note that the year 2024 is an important one for the people of the Asante. Not only is the kingdom commemorating the 100 years anniversary of the return of King Prempeh I from exile in Seychelles, but 2024 is also the 150th anniversary of the Third Anglo-Asante War of 1874. Your Majesty, this year you are also commemorating the Silver Jubilee of your installment. On behalf of the people of the Republic of Seychelles and on my own behalf, I would like to congratulate Your Majesty on your Silver Jubilee. Your Majesty, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Seychelles and Ghana formally established diplomatic relations in October 1988. But historically, the bonds of friendship between the two countries can be traced back to the exile of the late King Prempeh I to Seychelles from 1900 to 1924. It was indeed an honor, though sad, for us in the Seychelles to receive your great king, a man of peace, a man of dignity, a man who showed respect to our people and in return received the full respect and love of the Seychellois. So through his presence in the Seychelles, these bonds were established, and today we are very close as two peoples. You from the Atlantic shores and us from the Indian Ocean, and yet we are one. Your Majesty, I am pleased that I could be here. For me, this visit is not only one to partake in the celebrations of the return of King Prempeh I from exile, but it is also giving me the opportunity to better understand the Ashanti people, your culture, your history. Through this, I will be able to better understand the late King Prempeh I, the man he was, and the sacrifices he made for his people and for his kingdom. For me, therefore, the commemorating is also a time of reflection of the past, but also of the future. Seychelles and Ghana have a long history of cooperation in the cultural field. This is mainly due to the historical connection between the Ashanti people and the people of Seychelles. Yesterday, I was honored to be in the presence of the descendants of the king, and how much they look like our Seychellois nation. we have Seychellois living here in Ghana who were born in Seychelles or whose grandparents were born in Seychelles. And we also have descendants of the Ashanti in the Seychelles. What better way to unite our people? Earlier this week, as part of my official visit, the Memorandum of Understanding in Cultural Cooperation was signed between Seychelles and Ghana. I am confident that through this MOU, the Seychelles National Institute of Culture, Heritage and the Arts will continue to work closely with representatives from the Ashanti Kingdom to further explore other collaborations possible in this field. And here, Your Majesty, I would like us to go further. And this morning, I had a long conversation with the Member of Parliament from the very constituency where King Prempeh I lived during his exile. I believe we should look to twin the district and Kumasi. This will further reinforce our cultural ties, and this will also allow citizens from Kumasi to come to the Seychelles, and for those from Seychelles to come here to explore the rich diversity of our culture. I am pleased that the Seychelles National Institute of Culture, Heritage and the Arts was able to work closely with Mr. Kwame Akwa, our Honorary Consul in Ghana, and from representatives from the Kingdom of Ashanti in organizing an exhibition in Seychelles recently commemorating the 100th year celebration of the return of King Prempeh I from exile. But we are not stopping there. We will also be turning the very chapel in which King Prempeh I received the sacrament of Holy Communion and Confirmation into a museum. This has already been accepted. I've already signed the papers, and again, the presence of King Prempeh I will continue to live on. To further the legacy of King Prempeh I, the project has already started. Therefore, today, Your Majesty, I want to say thank you very much to the warm welcome we have received in your kingdom. And I want to wish you continued prosperity, long life, good health, wisdom as you continue to lead your people. We stand by your side, and I look forward to once again welcoming Your Majesty and the First Lady to the Seychelles. Thank you very much.
Celebrating the 100th anniversary of the return of Prempeh I.
Ambrofo yi beche no na womode no koye no mo si na chi befefa ne pempena de na wa hemfie ho no eno na sabre wu hu na bro Otumfou se do to baby opem so edi sagranti wo kon no mfinche to so ha
we now invite
and wo share bose
representatives from Anglo Gold
na sa agudie ne pempena de nyina sa ba santememu
to do a presentation together with Dr. Ego Ajimandia.
bra wodi ne finhia dununum e wa banwa so no eno so wo mu di bi baaye ne nei Seychelles finhia wo ha ya na Prempeh koye wo hye sa afan so wasade ebi asan aba ntenu mfonyi na sebredi etwagu ya wo na esanse na otumra no chesi ntene akire ne tumi ene akire se obem ye Seychelles abrofo ede enyima yi so aba wodi eda ne di ede akire adofo woda ne di ede akire asanteman nyina.
It will be displayed at the Kumasi Museum.
Gentle giants, the former president of the Republic, the true son of Asanteman, true son of Ghana, a distinguished personality, the former commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, who still has the capacity to arrest anybody who will give us any loud gunshots. Excellencies, not too long ago, you had a handshake with the great granddaughter of the legendary Nana Ya Santewa, the queen mother of Ejuso. Now the great granddaughter is now the queen mother of the legendary Ya Santewa area called Ejuso. The legendary Ya Santewa is noted for a bravery, a resilience, and his fighting spirit of the Ashanti people. She was also exiled in 1900 to Seychelles. I need to remind you that the former Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, His Excellency John Ajekum is still here. He has the capacity to still do what he does best.
Thank you very, very much. And rest assured, this will be a treasured gift. And Seychelles is very happy, very proud for the role we play in the history of the Ashanti. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You see, the role of the woman in the account system is peculiar. Before the advent of female empowerment, you had a special role for a woman. Yasantima is the most powerful lady in the kingdom. And it was to her that turned to one down to the selection of the king. So everything that we do, we make sure that the women are given due cognizance. And that is why we have elected the Kingdom of Manko to be the second commandant after Sadisma. To adorn you with this cross, with a special gift from Otumfou to your good self. I think for this we give you an Ashanti name. Today is a Saturday, so you'll be called Ama, the female born on a Saturday. And we'll be called Ama Asantua because of Yasantua who died in Seychelles. So from today, they're no longer Linda Karam Kalawan, but Ama Asantua. Yes, Asantua. She's divorced. It's just a name. It doesn't take away that. Please.
Thank you so much. Your much to the people of
the.
Now, we also have something for you, Mr. Prime Minister. We are looking forward to the King coming to visit us. However, since you have come and since you are speaking so brilliantly and you have come to ensure that this ceremony goes very, very well, we have a small gift for you. This is the cross which my brother will help you to put it on, without having to take off this one. But you see, the beauty of this is that, both trustees and Ashanti, when we put on we bear our shoulder, it may be left or it may be right. But it shows that we have nothing hidden under our armpit. So it shows our purity of intention and our action. So help me to put this on and then
commemorating the 100th anniversary of the return of King Prempeh. Tomorrow will be a church service. Podium at the Great Hall, the Ghanaian University of Science and Technology, and that was followed by another Kutukuri Deba on the 8th of February 2024, and on the 30th of March we had a massive cleanup exercise across all the traditional areas of Asanteman. In April, the 15th of April, we commenced a photo and a exhibition here at the Mashia Palace, and we launched the Otumfou STEM Festival here at the Mashia Palace. The Asanteman Queen Mother's Day here at the Mashia Palace was hosted by adorable Stacy Amwati. On the 24th of April, we had the Ahuho Deba, which celebrated the ethnic groups residing in Asanteman. On the 25th of April, in the evening, we had fireworks at multiple locations, including the Cultural Center, Heroes Park, Machia, Tafo, Jubilee Park, Apuapo, and Adum. On the 26th of April, we had a non-denominational Thanksgiving service here at Japrim, which indeed led displaying is the flag of Asanteman and the flag of Seshi Hills. The flag of Asanteman it has been colorful, it has been historic, it has been memorable. The meaning thereby commemorating the 100th anniversary of the return. In 1900, our proud king, our brave queen, was exiled to Seychelles by the British. He stayed in. Presentations were made of Nana Otuosrebo II, the Omani of Asante Joabin, and the chairman of the Council of States. We would like to say a big thank you for being part of this history.
jebo jenya bedro ha ene de dwumade ni nyina ekọ na wieye ewo edwaba na Otumfou say to eboye ede hye ifinhia oha efa ema Otumfou Prempeh the first ya officer shows eba asantememo no aha ne de enade no so AC yakopon ya admo ochina obeto aso akọ na sesom e Anglican asafo ya wa asante mantemi de besi bia eka ho no so ya ba besom yetiefo medin de atesem hene kwaku reta ene bomichi dom a ode camera yi egu mfompa dwumadi ni nyina ono ene gina chire ede ema yen medin de atesem hene kwaku Alandu Media so Santiman blog bo modin to aye ho na ehwe bi subscribe na share na onua so nsa ensusu bi makrao